Hi everyone, hope you all are doing really well. So this we have come up with Git interview questions. I think it plays a very important role as in a life of an automation tester as well. And there are a lot of things which we doesn't know, and there are a lot of questions has been asked for the Git as well. So what is Git? Git is a version control tool. Like many of the interviewer asked which version tool you use, which control which tool you use for version control. So you'll use Git. So Git is a distributed version control system, and the source code management, how you'll use source code manage, what you'll use for the source code management, you can say you'll use Git. And with the emphasis to handle small and large projects with the speed and efficiency. So what command you can use to write commit messages? So the command is used to write commit message is git commit -a, and the hyphen in the command line instruct Git to commit a new content of all tracked files. So if you are developers, you should be knowing all those commands as well. So as an automation developers, we have to know the command as well. So yeah, this is a bit tricky because this is this is also an additional part which we have to cover, being 5 or 6 years of experience. So that have been modified, and you can use git add file before git command -a if your new files needs to be added to be committed for the first time. Okay, so these all things we use: commit, push, pull. So these are we know, and in terms of command also we should be knowing what is the difference between git and sbn. Okay, so Git is less preferred for handling extremely large profiles or frequently changing binary files, while SVN can handle multiple projects stored in same repository. Git does not support commit across multiple branches or tags. Subversion allows the creations of folders at any location and repository layout. Gits are unchangeable, while subversions allow committers to treat as a tag as a branch and create a multiple revisions under a tag root. So what is repository in Git? So this is important question. Our one is also. So a repository contains a directory named .git, where Git keeps all of its metadata for the repository. The content of the .git repository the content of .git directory is private to Git. Yeah. Okay. We'll move to the next. Okay, so what is the advantage of using Git? So data redundancy and application high availability, only one. It's directory per repository, super disk utilization in the network performance, collaboration friendly, and any sort of project we can use Git. This is the advantage of Git is that only, right? It's a high availability, all the codes are there, you just go and check out your you'll just clone your code. Clone is also we use, right? Clone that is the wanted code, and you can easily commit your changes, you can check out your branch. So these are things you'll do the collaboration finally, and you can use super disk utilization. Okay, so what is the function of a git push in a Git? Git push updates remote reference along with the associate objects. What language is used in Git? So Git is fast C language, makes possible by reducing the overhead of runtimes associated with higher languages. Why Git better than Subversion? Git is an open source version control system. It allows to run some versions of a project. Okay, it allows to run as the version of the project, right? Which shows the changes that were made in the code over the time. Also, it follows a backtrack if necessary and undo those changes. These are things we can do it, right? In Git, multiple developers can check out and upload changes, and each changes can be attributed to specific developers. Okay, what is the staging area or the index in Git? Before completing the commit, it can be formatted and reviewed in an intimate area called, you can see it, right? Before committing, you can see the code where and all you'll do the changes. You have done the changes. That is called staging area or index. What is Git stash? Git stash take current. This one is a question which I think in the Walmart I have given the interview. This question has been asked. So Git stash take the current state of the working directory and index and put it on the stack for later, and gives you back a clean working directory. So in case if you are in middle of something and you need to jump over another job, the same time you don't want to lose your current edit, you can use git stash. What is git stash drop also? Okay, when you're done with the stashed item or want to remove it from the list, and run the git stash, run the git stash drop command, it will remove the last added stash item by default. It can also remove the specific item if you include as an argument. These questions are important. How will you know in a git if a branch has been already merged into master? So git branch merge the list, okay, list the branches that had been merged into current branch. Git branch no merge list the branches that have been merged. Okay, what is git clone? This is important. Git clone command creates a copy of an existing git repository to get a copy of central repository. Cloning is the most common way used by programmer. You will get the copy of the code in your directory from git repository, in your central repository or whatever. What is the function of git config? So the git clone command creates a copy of existing git repository. Okay, git config command is a convenient way to set a configuration options for your git installation, right? Behavior of a repository, user info, preferences, etc. can be defined through this command. How can you bring a new feature in main branch? This is also a question. This is also an important question. To bring a new feature in the main branch, you can use the command git merge or git pull command you will be using. What is head in git and how many heads can be created in repository? A head is simply a reference to commit object. In every repository, there is a default head referred as master. Okay, a repository can contain any number of heads. How can you create a repository in git? This is important. In a git, to create a repository or create a directory for a project, if it does not exist, then run a command git init. Okay, by running this command, git directory will be created in the project directory, and the directory does not need to be empty. Okay, git init. Okay, what does commit object contains? Okay, a set of files representing the state of a project at a given point of time, reference to parent commit, a shy name of 40 character strings that uniquely identifies the commit object. Okay, this question is important. What is the purpose of branching in git? The purpose of branching in git is to create your own branch and jump between those branches. It will allow you to go to the previous work, keeping your recent work intact. Okay, so whatever you will be doing, you will be affecting your own branch. It will not affect any other code. So if working on your own code, it will easier for merging purpose. Okay, what is the common branching pattern in git? The common way of creating branch in git is to maintain as one main branch and create another branch to implement new feature. The pattern is particularly useful when there are multiple developers working on it. So you will create, see what happens is there is a main branch, there is a master branch, there is a development branch, whatever branch you have to go, you will check out, you will create your own branch and do your work and then merge. So this will create, because if you keep on you doing it into development, so there are a lot of conflicts when you're working with multiple developers in a project. This will come. What is conflict in a git? A conflict arises when a commit that has to be merged as some changes in one place, and the current commit also has a changes at some place. The same place, like in one place, for example, for one functionality, two person has written the code. Okay, Git will not able to predict which changes should take the precedence. So Git to decide like which functionality should be taken further. Git will have the confusion. So which code should be taken further? So that will create a merge conflict. Not merge conflict, conflict in a Git. How can conflict in a Git resolve? To resolve the conflict in a Git, add the files to fix the conflicts changes, and then add the resolve files by running git add. After that, commit the repaired merge, run git commit. Git remembers that you are in the middle of a merger, so it can be, so it sets parent to the commit correctly. Okay. Okay. So if you wanted to delete any branch, what command you will use? Command also you should be remembering, because some people will ask the command also. Once your development branch is merged to the main branch, so you don't need to do, you don't need development branch, right? Like your code, now your functionalities, if you don't need that branch, you have to delete that, right? To delete a branch, use the command git branch -d head. Okay, name of the branch. What is another option for merging in a git? Rebase also you will do it. What is the syntax of rebasing in a git? The syntax of rebase is git rebase new commit. Even if you see it in IntelliJ, there is an option called rebase, but you should rebase, but rebase, whatever it is, and rebase we say, you will see the option of rebase. So what is the difference between git remote and git clone? Git remote add, just create an entry in your git config, and that is specify a name of particular URL. While git clone creates a new git repository by copying an existing one located at URI. What is git version control? How git do version controlling? With the help of git version control, you can track the history of a collection of files, include the functionality to revert the collection of files to another version. Each version captures the snapshot of the file system at certain point of a time. A collection of files and their complete history are stored in repository. Okay. So mention some of the best graphical Git client for Linux. Some of the best client for Linux are Git Cola, Git -d, Smart Git, Giggle, Git GUI, QGit. What is subgit and why we use subgit? Is a tool for a smooth, stress-free SVN to Git migration. Subgit is a solution for a company-wide migration from SVN to Git. That is, it is much better than Git SVN. No requirement to change the infrastructure that is already placed. Like if you do it right, if you what we say, okay, allow. I'm not remembering that. Migrating, you are migrating, right? So that's when it will be useful. Allow to use Git and all subversion features. Provide genuine stress-free migrations experience, right? Migrate when you migrate your project from one tool to another. What is the function of git diff in Git? Git diff shows the changes between yes, and commit in the working team. Like if you wanted to see the differentiation, right? What changes you have done it, क्या changes तुमने किए हैं तुम्हें देखना होगा, तो you will use the git difference. You can see all those things into IntelliJ. If your git is merged with it, you can see all those things. Okay. What is git status is used for? Git status shows the difference between the working directory and the index. It is helpful in understanding a git more comprehensively. Okay. What is the difference between git diff and git status? Both are same, but it shows the difference between various commits and also between the working directories and its index. What is git checkout in Git? Git checkout command is used to update the directories or specific files in your working tree with those from another branch without merging it into the whole branch. So these are the definitions which we really needed, and I think this is I was very new with this, and I think these are the questions which helped me a lot in preparing for the interviews. And I think these are the experiences when we give general answers or very simple answer. I think in the interview they don't expect we should have these answers. So yeah, I think as of now this is done. I'll be covering more questions maybe in the next video. I don't want to pile up you with guys. I think this is very useful, and let me know if you want me to cover the part 2 as well. I will in the part 2 I will come with little I'll added this document also. I thought of because maybe next week people must have the interviews. I thought of sharing this with you guys. I think a lot of important questions we have covered. There are some more. We will be covering it into the next video, and let me know in the comment section below how you like this or not, and you want me to cover part 2 as well or not. Thank you.